And we're back. Sorry, I apologize in advance that we're going to keep coming at you right here on Degen Nation for the Degen Nation Bowl series. There's so much to talk about in so little time. Round 5 of this Saturday, December 18th. Bowl slate. The longest name of the day. The Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl presented by Stifel. Did we just call this the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl now? Is that what it is?
Have to. I mean,
No.
First off, congratulations to both these teams. Some teams are ending their seasons in the New Mexico Bowl and the Idaho Potato Bowl. They get to play at SoFi Stadium, man.
That's pretty sweet.
That's awesome.
The only thing better would be the Bahamas Bowl.
Yeah.
And those two teams who were lucky enough to not get stuck in Albuquerque or Idaho. Utah State taking on the Oregon State Beavers. The Beavers are 7.5 point favorites as of right now. 67.5 the over-under in the inaugural Jimmy Kimmel Bowl. Why he's hosting a bowl, I have no absolute idea, but here we are.
Well,
this is life now.
Well, you just wait till you get the Jimmy Kimmel NIL deal. That'll come in the next couple of years.
It's got to come out of this game. MVP of this game gets a NIL deal from Jimmy Kimmel. That should be a stipulation. That'd be kind of cool.
So with this game, and if you paid attention to me at all this season, I've been very high on Utah State, which has done me very well. And I'm not changing. I'm not coming off of them in any capacity. This is the Gary Anderson Bowl. If you remember, he was at Oregon State. He's now at Utah State. Obviously, no love lost from the Wisconsin exit. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of factors in this one. I think on paper, a lot of people are going to lean Oregon State. But Logan Bonner, Arkansas transfer, got my guy Nick Henninger out there at D end. I feel like he's a day 3 NFL pick. Chance for him to go out there and do his thing. Pay attention to him, number 42 off the edge. He's a lot of fun to watch. I like watching that kid, high motor, high energy type defender. But I can't go against what's treated me well so many times this season. I think they didn't cover for me one time. Other than that, they just treated me so well. If you're giving me a touchdown, I'll take a touchdown with them. Maybe even talk myself into a little sprinkle on the money line, depending on how everything else has gone for me.
Interesting. I like it.
Aggressive.
Yeah, it's good. You're wrong, though, that everyone would be on Oregon State.
Really?
48% of the tickets on Oregon State. 60% of the money, though. But only 48 of the percent of the public tickets, which I thought was kind of interesting. I also did kind of believe it would lean heavily towards Oregon State. Who knows what we'll see, pre-kickoff, but that's where they currently sit. And then looking at this game, Oregon State's defense is fucking awful.
Yes, they are.
So, to me, this relies solely on the arm of Logan Bonner, your boy. When you look at outside of the Oregon game, now Oregon State traditionally this year has not given up a lot of yards to the air, 213 yards per game. However, the rush defense is awful. If you told me Logan Bonner was a stud running back and he was I think he'd run for 500 yards. I think somebody did run for 500 yards against Oregon State. 400 at least. But when you look at some of the losses that they've had, I mean, Colorado sticks out to me because Colorado's not a good football team. Yeah, they're terrible. Outside of the Oregon game, like I said, every loss that they've had, the majority of their points that they gave up were through the air. Now, obviously, you're talking about a Pac-12 school, and then you're talking about Utah State. So when you look at it on the surface, you think to yourself, okay, Pac-12 school, they should beat the shit out of this team. Well, the Pac-12 wasn't very good this year.
Yes.
And like I said, most of the year, they've been pretty good against the pass, Oregon State has. But hey, sometimes, that's what screwed them in 4 of their 5 losses. And I think you got a young quarterback in here who could sling the football. You're talking about a team who averages 82 plays per game. That's a lot. A lot of plays. That means you got the ball a lot. That means you're protecting it. That means you're putting together sustainable drives, controlling the clock, scoring points. And that's kind of what Utah State has done all year. That's why Utah State is 9-4 against the spread, 10-3 overall. That's why Tyler is sitting next to me with more money in his pocket, because that's what they've been able to do. There was a what? Go.
I was going to say, not by much with money in the pocket, but I'll let you finish your statistical analysis before I get to my outside of the box thoughts.
Not a whole lot outside of the box here. I'm just finishing on the fact that I think Oregon State has been a team that's been very up and down for us the entire year. It's been like UCLA in Fresno. We believe in them, then they let us down. We believe in them, then they let us down. We believe in them, then they lose to Colorado. We believe in them, then they beat Stanford.
Well, this is what happens when we believe in them. They're a completely different football team away from Corvallis. One road win, and we don't want to talk about who was against them, where it was, but one road win this season. Other than that, they've just been strong home and Milano. And living in Utah, when I did, and it's still going to be like this. This is how it's always been. Those college football teams all jock each other, are all jocked against each other. Utah State's got a chip on their shoulder because a lot of kids transfer from Utah, BYU, whatever. Oregon State beat Utah this season. So it's a huge feather in the cap of this Utah State program. If they can beat Oregon State, who beat Utah, who won the Pac-12. That's how that thought process goes in that state. I feel like that's going to be a huge motivating factor for a lot of players on that Utah State team, especially if they grew up in the state of Utah and maybe got shunned by a BYU or a Utah.
I like it. Very out to the box. I appreciate that. Also, too, so talking about Utah State and controlling the clock and all this stuff and what they've done well, and I think Logan Bonner has done a very good job of this. This Oregon State team, when you go back to the controlling the clock aspect and putting together drives and how good they've been, Oregon State's not a great turnover team. Logan Bonner's gone for 3,500 yards, 36 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. His rating is off the chart. He's had a very good season. Oregon State's defense, like I said, is terrible. They were 213 passing yards per game, which may sound deceitful because they gave up like 1,000 yards rushing per game. No one needed to throw the ball on them. You were moving the ball on the ground. Why throw the ball? And I think that's why when you've seen the kind of lesser teams, I'd say that they played or lost to, were able to throw the ball. It's because, well, it turns out their secondary really isn't that good. This Oregon State defense is very bad. I think when I look at Utah State, again, it goes back to kind of what we were talking about before earlier on today. Like, if they get down, they can strike quick and move and get back into it. Oregon State, their defense is going to allow that, so I like it. I like the underdog getting points here. And so I'm with you. I'm going to be with you. I'm going to take Utah State as well.
Yeah. It's been good to us all season on the show. A lot of stuff just adds up and makes sense, especially with Oregon State being just not good away from home. If this was in Corvallis, maybe a different conversation to be had, but it's not. It's a bowl game. It's a neutral site. It's a big game for Utah State to kind of, let Big Brother know that, hey, we beat a team that you didn't. Maybe you're not as good as you think.
Quite the statement it would be. All right. So we're both on Utah State. Any thought on the over?
No, I'm probably not going to touch that. I'll just sit down and pull for the Aggies.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that one either. It could be an offensive exploded game, and it could be like 30 to 35, and then we don't hit. So I'm going to stay away from that as well. So we're back on the same team, Utah State plus 7.5